Ever since I was a little boy, I've heard of stories or heard people question black men and black women patriotism in this country, when in fact we have stood with this country when this country has not stood with us. We've fought in every war. We pay our taxes. We vote. We respect people, but the image is that we're unpatriotic, that we don't pay our taxes, that we don't vote, or any other negative things. Well, it never ceases to amaze me how we open our shores for people who are not born here, but can come in this country and get access to things that have been denied our people, or even most Americans for that. Now, I'm not going to go say black people. I'm just going to say most Americans, because there are white men and white women as well who are denied things, but a lot of them are too stuck on race or political or religious beliefs to realize that we all in the same boat. The other day, I heard about a story about Facebook co-founder. I think his name is Eduardo Severin. Is renouncing his American citizenship when, in fact, he came over here I believe they say he came over. He's not an American-born citizen. He was granted citizenship. And I'm going to go through the article real quick. I'm not going to read the whole because it's a long article, but I want y'all to see how our patriotism and stuff is questioned. But every time we turn around, people give America the big middle finger, but we're the ones who are are questioned or under attack. Just bear with me for a second when I click on to this article, okay? Sorry about that. Okay, let me see. Oh, come on. I hate when it does that. There it go. Let's see. Okay, senators go after Eduardo Severin, Facebook co-founder, for dumping U.S. passport, avoiding taxes. Washington. Populist anger at Facebook co-founder Eduardo Severin's decision to renounce his U.S. citizenship, a move that could save him hundreds of millions in taxes if his Facebook stock gains value after the company goes public on Friday, has inspired two senators to propose legislation that could hit Severin with heavy taxes and bar from ever entering the United States. Senators Chuck Schumer and Bob Casey, both Democrats, are unveiling an Expatriate Act, which stands for Exploration, Prevention, and Abolishing Tax-Related Incentives for Offshore Tenancy. On Thursday, the bill will force anyone who expatriates for a substantial tax purpose, as judged by the Internal Revenue Service, to pay a mandatory 30% tax on future capital gains. The ex-citizens will also be turned back at the border if they ever try to come back. This is a great American success story going harm me wrong, Schumer told reporters Thursday. Eduardo Severin wants to defend the United States of America just to avoid paying taxes. We aren't going to let him get away with that. Schumer called Severin's behavior outrageous, arguing that Severin has turned his back on the country that welcomed him and kept him safe, educated him, and helped become a billionaire. Schumer also predicted GOP would be along with the measure. I don't think so. Why wouldn't they? He said, Casey. I'd like to hear the reason why not. According to his lawyer, Severin announced his citizenship and said to him, although his name just showed up on the Internal Revenue Service list 2 weeks ago and has been a permanent resident of Singapore. The New York Times on Thursday reported that Severin said he had been misunderstood when it came to allegation of tax avoidance. I'm not a tax expert, he told the Times. We comply with all known laws. There was an exit tax. The tax laws that apply to extremely rich people who renounce their citizenship are not surprisingly hideous, complex. Here are two tax professionals trying to explain some of the many variables. On one hand, Severin's renunciation left him on the hook for an exit tax and the estimated capital gains from stockholders at the time of his renunciation. Bloomberg estimates the levy will cost him about $365 million, but could be deferred indefinitely if he sells his shares. Bloomberg also calculated that renouncing his citizenship in September, as Severin did, could save him about $67 million in income taxes versus renouncing his citizenship today, because his attorneys could argue that his Facebook stock was worth less than it is now. The big advantage for Severin is that, assuming that the price of Facebook stock continues to rise, Any future gains will not be subject to tax at all because Singapore doesn't tax capital gains. Severing Facebook stock thought to be about 4% of the total is likely to be worth $3 billion to $4 billion as of Friday. If the price double over time, not having to pay capital gains tax will save them $600 million in the current 50% U.S. rate, which can go up in the future. Noting that there are other ways for ultra wealthy to finagle income taxes, the Times suggested that thinking behind severing citizenship renunciation could have had more to do with state and gift taxes. Mr. Severing's decision to leave could have been a wager that the cost of X tax now is 50% of whatever valuation he could get the Internal Revenue Service agreed to. It would be far less than 35% or more in estate tax his heirs would face on his holdings when he died, the Time wrote. Now, I'm not going to go into this, is a long thing, but basically, this guy comes to America. He lives the American dream. He's given the access of, given the privilege, because let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. He looks like a white guy. Okay? Let's just be honest. And let's be honest, look like a Jewish guy. Let's just be perfectly honest with you. And he was able to go in places that black American males can't. Now, let me see if I make millions of dollars or billions of dollars and try to pull that shit. My name will be on every lip of every reporter, every talking head across this country. And any American, black or white, Republican, Democrat, independent, straight, gay, rich, poor, should be pissed off that this guy was able to come here and make millions and then find a loophole to get out of paying his taxes. This is why I don't understand how anybody can truly support the Republican Party when they keep rewarding people who game the system. Now, I don't get mad at anybody making millions. He made it. He earned it. But when you get around trying not to pay the taxes, that's some sneaky shit. Poor people pay taxes every day. In fact, pay more than their rich counterparts at times, and we get inferior services. But this is why I think immigration reform should be paramount. Everybody should not be able to come in this country and do shit and then bounce when they get the American dream. And this happens all the time. For years, black people have warned that you have people who have come in this country, got fed off other people, and took their money back to their country and lived half the hog. But here, we'll give money or vote a certain way to keep black men and black women, even poor white people, from having certain things. This is why I don't understand why our white counterparts don't realize that the black community has never been the enemy. The enemy has been people who have made money, or white people in positions of power. But they have been indoctrinated into thinking because of the color of our skin that we're somehow less than, that we shouldn't be respected or treated with respect. I mean, this guy is slick, and then Zuckerberg, whatever his name is, he's trying to dodge around paying taxes. Now here it is, if I was a millionaire and they said, Mr. Harvey, you got to pay this in taxes. Well, this is my country, and this, I know if hopefully my taxes are going to the proper place, but this is just the cost of doing business in this country. I don't know why people think that you can't pay taxes and they think you're going to get something. That's why I hear people talk about, oh, my taxes are going up. Yeah, some things shouldn't go up. I can understand your taxes going up and you don't see where they're going, or they're not being used wisely, or they're getting, politicians are getting rich and living in certain communities while you suffer. I can understand it, but we can remedy that by voting, by going out there and checking these people, asking questions, staying on them. Problem is, we give blind votes to people and don't realize that these people have loyalties with these corporations or rich folk. Just like I said in my previous video, the Ricketts family, they bought the Chicago Cubs. Now, because they are billionaires and they have conservative leanings, they want to get in and want to bring up the Reverend Wright issue. See, this was happening. The Supreme Court did what they did. Now you have people doing questionable things. And I'm going to tell you something. People got used to doing this shit for years, and then under the Bush administration went to overdrive. This is why this economy is fucked. But guess who got blamed for it? Black people. But you have men like this who've made their money. And guess what? This is the weird thing. If it wasn't for people in the black community, white community, Asian, Hispanic, clicking on Facebook or these other companies out here, they wouldn't be millionaires. But this is the nice thing you give to us who help make your product what it is today. You said, fuck it, I don't want to be American no more. I got what I needed out here. I'm a millionaire. No, I'm a billionaire. I'm about to bounce. Yeah, but yet America question our patriotism, but you let other people come in all the time. They fuck us over. Look at the number of years we've had spies that come over here. You trust everybody else to come in this country. What did they do? Look what happened 9/11. Y'all too busy watching black folk and black men in particular. And what happened? They flew planes into a building. A field in Pennsylvania. The Pentagon. But yet we're the enemies? Wow. Crazy, isn't it?